On today's Locked On NBA, Adam and I are going to get into the Olympics. Team USA, Slovenia to the bronze medal game, a heartbreaker against France. Then we'll talk about Ben Simmons not answering Joel Embiid's calls. And then we got to power rank the best things about NBA Summer League, which starts on Monday. All that on Locked On NBA.
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On NBA, your daily NBA podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome. You are Locked On to the NBA. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of the Locked On Mavericks podcast, and joining me, as always on Friday, host of Locked On Nuggets from DNVR, it's Adam Mares. What you got for me?
I got Jimmer Fredette coming to the Nuggets, and I got Zach LaVine celebrating his longest win streak since college. How crazy is this?
I saw that on Reddit about Zach LaVine, and I could not believe it. I had to go back and look through, and yep, he has not had a 4-game winning streak in the NBA.
It's insane. Absolutely insane. I love Zach LaVine, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but I am now a full-on Zach LaVine stan, so you can get used to that. You're going to be hearing a lot about that every Friday.
Does his fan base have a name?
I don't know. Just this Zach LaVine stan account. That's just me now.
Let's get into the Olympics. Team USA is playing France for the gold. That is Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then Australia is playing my beloved Slovenia at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Man, Slovenia played just an absolute down to the wire game against France. France looked dominant the whole game, and somehow Slovenia was holding on to it. Came down to a Batum block at the very end. Prepelic had a layup that could have gone in. Luka made the right pass, the right read. He got around Gobert, and then he just couldn't get past Batum. It was just a heartbreaker for a team that is never in a country that has never been in Olympic basketball, has never medaled before. They could have guaranteed a medal if he would have made that layup. That is a wild thing. But Luka Doncic finished with triple-double, the first triple-double in Olympic basketball play since LeBron in 2012, and only the third since 1976. I will give you $100 if you can name who it was.
Man, from what year was it?
1976.
Oh, nope, I don't have it.
I'll give you a hint. It's from the Soviet Union.
Oh, man, the Soviet Union. Nope, I'm not going to get it.
I was going to say, you could just start naming names. Alexander Belov was the first one to have a triple-double in the Olympics, and then LeBron 2012, and then Luka, 18 assists in this game. Just absolutely wild game for him. There's something going on with him at the end of the game. He ran into the scorer's table, and there's some plastic there, so he was holding his hand a lot. He was hurting there. His conditioning was obviously a problem at the end. He only took 2 shots in the fourth quarter, and Slovenia really needed him to score a little bit down the stretch. And Slovenia playing for bronze, and now it's France versus the U.S. in the gold medal game.
Well, first of all, Luka Doncic, I think, has been the best part about Olympic basketball. I think pretty clearly. I really don't know what second place would even be, but he has been absolutely fantastic. And look, Slovenia, not a big country. I saw everybody.
2 million people.
2 million people, the same population as New Mexico, and here they are. Within just an inch of advancing onto the gold medal game if Batum doesn't kind of fly across the paint to make that block. But Luka was nothing short of spectacular in here. And, we're going to talk about Team USA. I know we hear it coming up, but when we talk about how difficult it is for Team USA, even with all the talent, how they've fallen into these slumps, Luka has somehow not really fallen into a slump in this just masterful in doing exactly what he wants. Everybody's loading up on him, and he's been special. It's been fun to watch, and it honestly gets me excited for Luka's upcoming season.
We got robbed, Adam. We absolutely got robbed of a Luka versus Team USA gold medal game. That just would have been so fun for everybody. But
that would have been honestly, man. They would have treated him like Kukoc back in '92 Olympics, man. Like if they would have played, if Team USA would have played Slovenia, I honestly think Team USA would have won by 50, and they would have made it personal. Putting 5 guys on, they would have done whatever it takes. That game they would have had a little extra oomph in it, but it's not to be.
Well, then Prepelic and Dragic and Chanchar would have killed them then on the other end, though. Those
Hey,
have been
how about thank you for mentioning my guy Chanchar, by the way.
Chanchar's been great for them. He's had some games where he mattered.
Fantastic tournament. Even last night, I think he was 5 of 8 from the 3-point line. He's good, man. The Denver Nuggets power forward on the depth chart.
Yeah, they needed a little bit more from him, but definitely more scoring from Luka in that game. Mike Tobey, shout out to Mike Tobey, the center for the Slovenian team, who Kyle Anderson in the middle of the game tweeted, Mike Tobey plays for Slovenia? That boy is from Jersey.
I love that. I will say, though, the Australia versus Slovenia game, that's going to be a really good game, and it also is a meaningful one in that both, countries not exactly, racking up the medals in basketball, so it's meaningful to both of them. And whichever team is not going to wind up with the bronze, it'll be quite a heartbreaker.
I don't know if Australia have they ever medaled?
I can't remember if it's been a really long time or if they've never done it in basketball, but certainly the case with Slovenia as well. So that's a meaningful game.
I think they've medaled. I may have been given false information on that, but yeah, it's going to be definitely Slovenia has never medaled for sure, and so that's going to be a really, really big game for them. Fun game. Both of these games should be really, really fun on Saturday. We're looking forward to it. Team USA though, what's their chances against France? How do you see Team USA and this team that's been, I guess, much maligned by people that have just said, oh, they're not dominating the way that we expect Team USA to be? What do you expect from them against France, who has Gobert and Batum, and Evan Fournier had a really good game against Slovenia, and Nando De Colo had a really good game against Slovenia out of nowhere. Wow. Timothy Cabarrot.
I think it'll be a good game. I mean, France does have, one of the things that I think people are slow to familiarize themselves with is the fact that unlike in 1992 or even 96 or even in the year 2000, it's not just that these countries now feature guys who have played in the NBA, but it's guys that are at 0% intimidated. I mean, Batum, Gobert, it's not just that they have some NBA experience, is that they are actually really good NBA players and have played at a very high level, playoffs, deep into the playoffs. So this will be a good game. It'll be competitive, but I will say Team USA has gotten better, I think, with every single game that has gone by. And we saw just that third quarter against Australia, when they turn the afterburners on, they do look in small spurts as dominant as some of the previous iterations of Team USA, 2016 and so on and so forth. So not maybe wire to wire, but they do have their moments where they look dominant.
They just this Team USA just gets into transition so quickly, and all of a sudden it's just boom, boom, boom. They're getting steals, they're going out in transition, and I think they can do that against this France team, because this France team, their offense is a little okay, Fournier, you try to do something. Okay, Nando De Colo, you try and drive on somebody, and so I think that they can really. Drew Holiday's gonna have a big game. I think this is gonna be a big Draymond game. Bam has his hands full though with Gobert. I think that's gonna be a really, really big matchup for them.
Can he draw Gobert out a little bit? I mean, in FIBA play, it's harder to draw guys out since Gobert can just stand at the rim basically and goaltend the entire game. It really changes, some of the usefulness, in my opinion, of a Bam Adebayo. But what I think is interesting about Team USA, there's a couple different things, but one of the things that's really interesting is that they came in, you thought, okay, Damian Lillard starting this, and who are these guys? I actually think Lillard is not part of their best lineups and is actually the team. First of all, Kevin Durant, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, by far the most important play has to be on there. And it almost works out when they have some of the more defensive guys around him, Draymond, Drew Holiday, even Chris Middleton, because it becomes so clear that, hey, we got to find Durant every time. That's our guy. Less passing, less being passive, this or that. But also just putting those defenders around. You mentioned the fast break. When you've got a Draymond and a Drew Holiday out there and maybe a Middleton or Booker, Zach LaVine, those guys have even been flying around and playing solid defense. When you have those guys out there, you do turn the ball over. You do get fast breaks off of defensive rebounds. So it's interesting to me because I feel like part of why Team USA has looked better over the last few games is they've gone a little away from Lillard and a little more towards some of the more defensive guards.
Yeah, and it gets more guys involved, too. More guys touch the ball. You have Zach LaVine getting the ball in transition. That dunk he had in the fast break against, what was it, Australia, was just...
He's the best.
It's so fun.
Zach LaVine is a real great, in my opinion, a great NBA story because he came in with a world of talent. How many times have we seen this, Nick? We get into the draft and we're like, he's a high flyer, but his skill set, he's got to learn to shoot. And he's got to learn the game. He doesn't have a great feel. Zach LaVine has incredible shooter, one of the best shooting guards now, shooters from the guard spot that we have in the league. And on top of that, he was a gunner 3-4 years ago. He was a gunner. He's not a gunner anymore. He's a very smart, knows where he fits in, even on a super team like this, like Team USA. And I'm just so impressed with him.
Yeah, Team USA going into this game against France, it's going to be a good one. The gold and the bronze medal game will both be good games on Saturday. Yeah. We'll be watching them. They'll cover them on Monday on Locked On NBA. Coming up, let's get into Ben Simmons not answering Joel Embiid's calls, and then we'll fly around the horn in the NBA talking about some of our favorite signings and different things we've seen this week. We'll talk about that coming up. All right, Adam, let's get into this Ben Simmons story. Ben Simmons not answering the Sixers or Joel Embiid's calls at all. He apparently has all these preferences to where he wants to go. The Sixers want to ship him out. He wants to get shipped out. No one else wants to ship him in, though. So what's the deal with Ben Simmons right now? Where are we left?
Well, I think Daryl Morey rightfully set the price really high for him, and so we're seeing, I think, the result of that, which is we won't know if this was the right or wrong strategy until all the dust settles and the trade actually happens. We'll say, okay, that was good value or that was bad value, whatever. But not answering the phone call, and it wasn't just that. The report was just completely distancing himself so that he has no communication with the team. It's very clear he's no, I'm not talking to any of you guys again. And let me render a verdict on this. What do I think? Strong approval.
Wow.
For Ben Simmons. For Ben Simmons. I'm sorry, Nick. Did you watch the Eastern Conference semifinals? Did you watch the post-game commentary when Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid threw him under the bus and the fans took to social media and threw him under the bus? I'm sorry. Is he supposed to hop back in the group text and start sending emojis to each other? No. Those guys threw him out of the circle of trust. He just cut him off. I applaud it. There's not many things I applaud of Ben Simmons, but I applaud this move.
I thought I was going to have to defend Ben Simmons and you were going to be all against it. But yeah, here we are. I think that there's no reason for him to answer those calls if he doesn't want to. Is it kind of a dick move to not answer Joel Embiid's calls if a teammate of yours? Maybe, I guess, as a person?
No, it's not, man.
What if I just stopped answering your calls, just in general?
Hey, man, if I publicly threw you under the bus, I would understand. Joel Embiid did not it wasn't, hey, he's got to play better. It wasn't. He made it known he did not want to. This dude he's a loser.
Yeah, but what if he's calling to apologize?
Yeah, is that what it was? Wow.
Joel Embiid has matured. He's a father now. He's learned a lot. You know about fatherhood.
That sounds like Joel Embiid, the guy to call to apologize. No way. Look, Ben Simmons. Like I said, I'm not going to defend many things, but this one, why? What is there to gain from answering the phone? No, let it go to voicemail. Never check the voicemail.
Well, and the missing part in all of this is that his agent is talking to the Sixers, right? His agent is dealing with all this kind of stuff. It's not like there's no communication between Ben Simmons' whole camp and the Sixers. It's his agent.
Why you hire an agent? Why you hire him? You say, hey, you handle that for me, dude. You talk to those guys.
Also, how much have we talked about mental health this year? Maybe for Ben Simmons, he needed to just disconnect from everything.
Could be.
And be I just need to step away from this, which, we applaud, I think. So. Yeah, the Ben Simmons situation. Where does he end up, though? Because it's just been the big question for the last couple months since they got knocked out.
Well, there are some rumors today, and I don't know really how substantiated these rumors are, but though about him wanting to be in California, him being a socialite, and he sees he sees the writing on the wall. I don't want to be in Toronto. Doesn't want to be in Portland. He wants to be here. I don't know if there's validity to these. But that being said. It'd be funny. I don't know if he landed up in Minnesota or, this is what I'm rooting for. Indiana, maybe. That's what I'm hoping. I don't want anybody that wants to go to LA to wind up in LA. That's my rooting interest.
Ben Simmons says he wants to be a socialite and wants to end up in California. Okay, well, he's not going to Sacramento, right? Maybe.
You know what? Actually, Sacramento. Why not? Let's do Sacramento.
You got 4 options there if you want to be in California. Okay. Golden State, I don't know about that. Then the Clippers and Lakers are your only options there. You're really,
and I want to make this clear to Minneapolis and to Indianapolis. Hey, I love it. Love the Midwest. I'm not insulting the Midwest. I'm insulting Ben Simmons. He doesn't want to go there. I hope he gets forced to. I hope guys when they try to force their way to the same three markets, I hope they always get forced to eat their vegetables.
That's where they eat their vegetables in the Midwest.
That's right, man. That's eat your vegetables.
Can we talk about another move the Sixers made that we were laughing about before? Is that they signed Andre Drummond, which just made me audibly laugh sitting there because of all the things Joel Embiid has said and done to Andre Drummond. Talk about needing a break for your mental health after all these practices between Andre Drummond and Joel Embiid. Andre Drummond's gonna need some a mental health break because that's just gonna be hilarious to watch those two guys. But hopefully,
here's the funny contrast to Ben Simmons, right? As Joel Embiid talks trash to Ben Simmons, never call me again. I'm leaving you on read. Yeah. Joel Embiid talks trash to Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond shows up. He's like, hey, bye guys, be bye guys. Here's the thing I think about this, because I do think there's such a thing as sports rivalries, and I do think like, hey, look, I like when guys talk trash. There was the famous Kobe and Matt Barnes. Like Kobe called up Matt Barnes or approved Matt Barnes because he's like, if you're crazy enough to go at me, I want you on my team. I don't think that's the situation we have here with Andre Drummond. I don't think this is the thing that you have to understand is it wasn't at least with Matt Barnes, he earned Kobe's respect by being tough and physical. Joel Embiid thoroughly humiliates Andre Drummond every time they play. That's not a rivalry. That's an abuse. And then here he is going to try. To me, that's a really hilarious yet somewhat awkward pairing now.
Yeah, that is now Ohio State versus Michigan, right? Like Andre Drummond is fully Michigan.
Yeah,
it's not really a rivalry anymore.
Do you want some breaking news?
Oh, I'm in.
We just got reported while we were recording this that Kelly Oubre has agreed to a 22-year, $26 million plus deal with the Charlotte Hornets.
Got $26 million.
He got $26 million, which is, I feel like an overpay.
I think so too. Who else has money left? Like the Thunder.
Yeah, and he wasn't going to go there. So I don't know. It's an interesting. I'm not a big Kelly Oubre guy.
I'm not either. He was talked about for the Mavericks, and I was like, you guys know he shot worse from three than Josh Richardson last year. You guys want to start complaining about a wing that can't shoot threes? Oh,
yeah,
and bring in another one. But that Hornets team is all of a sudden like really fun. All of a sudden, I mean, they were fun last year, but they have a bunch of those wings that are just springy, and they had a pretty good draft. LaMelo obviously booked night in the draft, and
was it Mason Plumlee? Is that what pushed him over the edge for you?
Well, they swapped the Zeller for the Plumlee. There's a clause in the CBA where you have to swap one for the
right.
other.
That's right.
You can't not have one without the other.
Must have one.
Other moves that were a favorite of yours. Let's see. I loved the I kind of liked the everything that the Jazz did. I liked the Conley. They got him back at a discount. The Rudy Gay move I thought was good. It gives them a different look. They can play him at like a small ball 5 if they need to. The Eric Paschall just like salary dump from Golden State, I thought was a fascinating move. And then Whiteside, which is in a similar vein as Drummond, they're like, let's just do the same thing we do in our starting lineup with our backups and just have a giant center. But I liked what Utah did.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see Whiteside there. I think a lot of teams like to have here's what Whiteside is. It's the Jokic, Anthony Davis. Hey, if we match up in a series, you'll play. If not, we don't need you. This is what happened with Derek Favors. They brought Derek Favors back thinking, hey, if we match up with Jokic, Derek Favors causes Jokic some problems, especially when you compare him with Gobert. That's the one matchup. But if you don't play him and the money they spent for Favors, it's like, yeah, you're wasting a spot. Now you get Hassan Whiteside, probably going to be an absolute zero factor unless they play one of 2 or 3 teams in the playoffs, and then he's useful.
What are some other moves that were some of your favorites that you just look at and say, oh, dang, I really liked what they did?
I thought Miami is the team that I look at, and I'm surprised that so many people view them. I think they are appropriately a tier below Milwaukee and Brooklyn, but I think they're in the same tier to me as a Philadelphia, which is to say I would not be surprised if they knocked one of those teams off or even made it to the finals. I think they're a really good team, so I'm surprised people are lower on them. They're underdogs against the top 2 in the East, but I'm really impressed with the moves they made.
There's a severe lack of Kyle Lowry respect out there among NBA fans, at least what I've found.
It's the weirdest thing, too. Kyle Lowry's good and flashy and fun and clutch. Like, what is it about? Is it that he was in Toronto? Is that what it is?
It's that he looks fat, like from behind, right? Like
he looks fat from behind. All right, wow.
Right, like We talked about Kyle Lowry a lot on Locked On Mavs, and our YouTube channel was just full of comments being like, why do we want a fat old point guard? And I was
That's wild, man. That's so wild.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
body shamers out there.
I know. The fact that the Butler deal may not look good at the end and the Lowry deal may not look good in 2 years doesn't mean that it's not going to be good right now, right?
Also, you're talking about Pat Riley. Pat Riley, he does this every summer. You go and you go like, ooh, that's a good deal for this year, but next year it's going to be rough. And then next year he wiggles out of it and gets something else. And you're like, wow, retooled.
Except for that stretch they had like Dion Waiters and Kelly Olynyk at that huge
sometimes
deal.
You have to pay like a 1-year fee, like a 1-year penalty to like wait it out or whatever. So
yeah.
No, I'm impressed with them. On a lighter note, I'm very impressed with Denver's addition of Jimmer Fredette to their summer league roster, as well as Kenneth Faried to Portland's. How is Faried and Jimmer Fredette back in the summer league? This doesn't make any sense.
Michael Beasley, Faried's teammate on the Blazers.
That's right.
Yeah, Beasley's gonna put up some buckets in summer league, right?
I think Kenneth Faried will too. I mean, honestly, like Kenneth Faried's a super athlete. He played in the NBA, played in playoffs here. He started playoff games. And now he's going to go up against a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds who are stepping on the court for the first time. Like he's going to be the Wilt Chamberlain of summer league. That's my prediction.
The 6'7" Wilt Chamberlain of summer league.
It's going to be unbelievable.
And he knows how to work, and he's working back for his career, right? Like there's a difference between what was the show? It was Loki, where it was like the variant Loki's going to get to it first, and she's like, why? Like, you want it. She needs it, right? Like, Kenneth Faried needs it to come back, right? Like,
maybe. I mean, I will be interested to see if this springboards Faried back into the NBA. He's a fun player, and he's not that old. So it is kind of wild that he just disappeared from the NBA for a little bit.
We're just seeing guys like him and kind of like Montrezl Harrell right now. There's just not really a role for guys like that. Like, you're a backup center or –
well, if there's a role for Hassan Whiteside in this league, then there is a role for Kenneth Faried. It's a narrow one.
7 foot and block shots, like.
Yeah, Kenneth Faried is a monster offensive rebounder and rim roller. You know, he plays above the rim as well as anybody. Quick jumper, like he has utility. It's just that it's as like a utility pitcher or something. You know, he's not a starting pitcher anymore. He's a utility pitcher. So now he's not a star, and he was paid like a star, and he got that big contract with years, and he wanted to be a starter and this or that. That dream is gone, but can he be an 8th guy? I think so. An 8th guy in a playoff rotation? I think so. 8th, 9th guy?
We'll see. Coming up, let's get into our power rankings. Power rankings, the top 5 favorite things about NBA Summer League as a fan. It's coming up on Monday. We are back to Summer League. Fans are going to be flooding in. I'll tell you the top 5 things, at least from my experience, that are the best things about NBA Summer League as a fan. Talk about that coming up. But before we do, let's talk about Built Bar. Built Bar is a protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. They're absolutely delicious. And did you know there's a brand new flavor just popped up on the website? I was looking. Rocky Road with marshmallow and almond. Go get that bar right now. The puffs were really, really good. The churro puff was good. So the marshmallow that they use in these bars is great. Rocky Road, 150 calories, 17 grams of protein, 6 grams of sugar in a bar covered in 100% chocolate with that marshmallow in it. Also with the almond, you'll get that crunch in there. Love it when a bar like that has some crunch. Go get them. Use the promo code LOCKED15 to get 15% off your next order with Built Bar. Also, the official protein bar of Team USA Track and Field. You will gold medal with Built Bar, even though track and field did not necessarily gold medal in the events that they had. But go check it out. Mint brownie is also a solid flavor. Cherry barcia, raspberry are great. People love the salted caramel. Check out that Rocky Road new flavor. That will go quick. BuiltBar.com. Use the promo code LOCKED15. All right, Adam, let's power rank my top 5 best things about NBA Summer League as a fan.
Can't wait for this list. Very excited.
We'll do these in order, the Adam Mares order, 5 to 1.
There you go.
Number 5, you meet new people. There's always people there from all over. They're NBA fans. You're going to meet new people. For us in the media, it's, meeting people that work for teams and maybe players and all that kind of stuff. For a fan, you're probably going to meet a bunch of different people. However, there's the rare occasion where players will sit in the stands somewhere. So you may be able to meet players there. So that's pretty fun. As Summer League has become bigger and bigger, that's less likely. But it's fun to just go there, meet people that love sports and basketball the same way as you.
Yeah, that's honestly the appeal of it. I always say it's like Comic-Con for basketball nerds. So
100%.
Including people dressing up. In Comic-Con, you dress up as your favorite characters. At Summer League, you dress up. I don't want to spoil.
I got it.
You dress up like your favorite player, you get it. So.
That's a little up there. Number 4, new players, rookies. You get to see these guys before anybody else. It's kind of fun.
This is number 4 is the actual players. I love that the basketball. It's coming in 4th.
Okay, but now in Summer League, half the time these guys, like the guys you really want to see, don't play anyway, right? Like Luka didn't play a single minute in Summer League.
He was ducking, yeah.
How much did Zion play in Summer League? I don't remember. Probably not that much, but like.
I do remember because here you'll remember this. There was a rebound. I can't remember. Somebody else grabbed it. Man, I wish I could remember who the player was. And he reached in, ripped the ball right out of his hands like a child, and then standing dunked it. And it was one of the first plays he was on the court, and you're just like, wow, he is 10 times stronger than every other human on earth.
Yeah, than everyone else. But yeah, you get to see these players before anyone else. It's still a really great thing. The rookies, some of these players coming back. You'll get to see Michael Beasley this year dropping some buckets, Kenneth Faried going balls to the wall. You'll see players that you didn't remember that were still playing, like that'll just come back and be like, oh, is that Kay Felder? Didn't he play on the Cavs one year? Right? Like,
that's so true.
All of a sudden,
is that your favorite one, Kay Felder? That's a good one. I remember seeing Hashim Thabit several years after he'd been gone and being like, oh wow, he's still at it.
It was Luke Herringody at one of these.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's at every one of these.
New players is a good one. That one's a little lower because of the guys that end up ducking the Summer League and they're too good for the Summer League or whatever, and all that. Kevin Knox wasn't too good, but he may not get to play. Number 3, this is what you alluded to earlier, the old school jerseys. It is like you said, Comic-Con for the NBA. Right. Everybody shows up and the throwback Minnesota Grizzlies or the Memphis Grizzlies and the Kevin Garnett Minnesota Timberwolves jerseys and just any kind of the most random jersey you have, bring it and wear it at Summer League. That's one of my favorite things, is just to see, you almost should get a bingo card and start just checking off all the old school jerseys you see.
Of course, you said throwback. I don't even know if it's throwback. There's a weird subculture at Summer League where people try to wear the most obscure jersey you could think of. So it's it's not just look at this old school classic thing. It's, hey, I didn't even realize, Luke Herringody. You might find a Herringody jersey out there. You're going to be like, wow, look at that. So,
it's Amin El Hassan's Patino game, but in real life in Jersey.
In real life, totally, yep.
Number 2, the value. You pay I think this year it's up to $40, but you can watch so many basketball games. I think you can watch 10 or 12 basketball games in the span of one day, and you don't have to pay for each game. You pay for one day. You go there. There's 2 different gyms, so you can go back and forth between Cox Pavilion and Thomas and Mack there in Vegas. I think the value of it for a fan, if you're just talking about going there, seeing it, is absolutely wild to get to go see that many basketball games.
It is really cool. The venue is really great. I wish there was 4 courts. I mean, I actually wish there was another court adjacent to Cox Pavilion. Maybe they just progressively get smaller, and there's and the 4th gym is just a blacktop, outside.
They play with a college ball.
Yeah, it's 110. You have to be out there. But no, it's a super fun environment. I am shocked that the value of the ticket price is coming ahead of the game. I do find that a little unsettling.
In Summer League, the games are not necessarily that great,
so
right?
True. They're so bad.
Right?
They're horrible.
But you do get, this is more quantity over quality for sure, this Summer League.
That's a great point. That's a really great point. The games are terrible, but you get to watch a lot of them.
But there are Olive Garden when you're here, your family.
So true.
But number 1, the atmosphere. There's all the things that I just mentioned. The atmosphere of Summer League is one of the big reasons why you go. I was there when Lonzo was a rookie, and just going to see all those Lakers fans there for a Summer League game when they were terrible was just absolutely wild to see. I was there when D'Angelo Russell did the ice in my veins. I was standing in the media area. He ran right past us, and after he hit that game winner, just seeing stuff like that every once in a while is just absolutely great to see that.
It is a good atmosphere. A little Lakers heavy, I would say. A little Lakers fan because it's within driving distance of Los Angeles, so of course you're going to get that. So that could be. I remember Jason Tatum's rookie season. I remember the crowd starts booing. This is day number 1. It was the same year as Lonzo's big. And the crowd just starts booing. And Jason Tatum's just walking across the gym, and about halfway across the court, he realizes they're booing him.
It's him.
They're like, oh, me, I'm not even playing, you guys. What the hell? pretty funny for sure.
Yeah, but the atmosphere is just great. It's great to go meet people, see all the jerseys, like all of that together. I think is just great. There's all kinds of like different events and kiosks and stuff that you can walk by and see. Like you can try and jump as high as an NBA player and all those just random little things. There's people with booths. All that stuff is great. Did I miss anything? Did I forget anything about Summer League that's great for a fan? I think you missed the number one thing. I think you missed the number one thing here, so it's a big miss. But no matter what happens, every fan base will declare victory. So if you happen to go out and dominate, I remember the Sacramento Kings in Vivek's first year won the Summer League. I remember they raised the banner. They raised the banner. Like you just need to declare like it means something. But if your team loses, it's like, yeah, Summer League, guys, come on. Like it doesn't matter. Like no matter what happens, you can have a guy, your number one draft pick goes out and averages 4 points, and you could be like, you know what he did though? He was plus minus was. You find something to like talk yourself into. And now in Vegas, you get to see every team, right? So that's definitely a positive too.
Oh yeah, it's cool that they're all together. Yep, exactly.
Because it used to not be that way. We had the Sacramento one and the Orlando one, and Vegas and Utah had one, and there's so many other ones, and now they're just all together, which is great.
Which is great, man. I'm excited for it. I'm hyped for it, even though I'm not sure if the Nuggets will have a team there. I'm still hyped for Summer League.
The Mavericks may trade their 2 best Summer League players for Goran Dragic by the time they go to Summer League. But...
By the way, don't think I don't see what you're doing, Portland, bringing in these guys, bringing in these ringers. Neil O'Shea, you want to talk about it's a total Neil O'Shea move to win Summer League and then be like, hey, we're off to a great start here. You guys all put me in the pressure cooker. Look what I brought to you, a championship.
We have this young core that's coming up.
Young core
with Michael
Beasley and Fareed and Moutier. And yeah, look at this young core we have.
Young core with experience. That's so rare. It's
also,
rare.
Great defenders. Fantastic. Bolstering the defense with Fareed and Michael Beasley and Emmanuel Moutier.
Oh my gosh. There you go. That's our power rankings. That's Locked On NBA on Friday. Go follow Adam Mares and go listen to Locked On Nuggets. Follow me and Locked On Mavs. Great stuff coming all off season long. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA.